Good to see everyone this afternoon. Big weekend for us. Exciting weekend for us to be able to get our 10th win of the season, outright Missouri Valley Football Conference championship, and then some other, I think, positive things that go along with the win. Or we can back off practice a little bit this week and make sure that we're healthy going into a playoff season. We will give our guys Thanksgiving off, opportunity for some of our guys to get home, spend some time with their family. But overall, was pleased with how quickly we started on Saturday. I thought Cam had probably his best game of the season. I think it was 19 to 23. Had an outstanding day. The Rams and tight ends up front were operating in a highly efficient manner throughout the course of the game. Defensively, we were able to get a couple takeaways, create some short fields. And the other area that I was really pleased with is special teams. I think we accomplished 8 of our 10 goals. And I thought we really got at, I know we gave up the one punt return, but you take that one play away, I thought we dominated that phase of the game. And that's something that we've really hung our hat on throughout the years, that special team needs to be a critical piece of when you have to defend and play NDSU, but also needs to help us win football games. A couple things, second half didn't start as fast as, of course, I'd like to. End of the first half, we had the ball on the ground a couple times, and I thought that was, we're better than that. And then probably the third thing that I think I'll address with the football team is there was late in the game, we had some backups in defensively, and I think we had 3 penalties on one drive that led them down to a touchdown. We were off the field on third down. We jump. I think there was a PI in there, a late hit. I mean, just some of those things that you got to learn from watching film of other people. We can't have that stuff, especially now as we get into the playoff season. But looking forward, we're going to practice a couple days this week, get a couple days off, and then get it ramped back up this weekend. With that, I'll open it up to questions.
You mentioned getting healthy. Anybody that we haven't seen the last couple of weeks you think has an opportunity after these 2 weeks off?
Well, I think as I mentioned, Hunter Lipke will be back. Again, I think if this would have been a last game of the year type of scenario, I think he could have played, but we felt like we needed to try to save him and protect him as much as we can. But from the most part, Ross, I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I think we're about as healthy as we've been. Knock on wood, of course. I talked to Mason, our athletic trainer, today. I mean, our injury list is about as short as it's ever been after 11 games. But the bigger piece, we talk about rest and recovery right now. I mean, we've been going for 8 weeks straight. It's probably just as much from the shoulders up as it is from a physical standpoint. They just need a break, get away from football a little bit, and recharge the battery.
I know you didn't care, but were you pleased to see you're not going to go anywhere? You'll be at home as long as you keep winning through the playoffs?
Of course. Anytime we can play in front of the best fans in the Fargo Dome, it is a tremendous game day atmosphere. I'll take it. I'm not going to complain about that one bit. I couldn't say anything on Saturday about where we were at. I mean, the only way I could have ever said or I thought politic for anything is if we were undefeated. We didn't do that. So where they saw that we were supposed to be is where we were going to be, and we weren't going to make any excuses about it.
South Dakota or Southern Illinois coming in, kind of how do you feel about where you guys fell in the bracket overall?
It is what it is. I mean, it's 2 very good football teams that we're going to have to play. It's unique that one of them we just played 48 hours ago, but we're going to go into it this week kind of with faceless opponent. We're going to prepare a little bit for both and make sure we're ready, healthy, and we'll get them cranked up when the time's right.
You guys never had nobody with the Peyton Award, nobody with the Buchanan Award nominated. Is that a big deal to you?
Not to me right now. 10 wins is a big deal to me. The fact that we got better, like I said, weeks 1 through week 11, that's a big deal to me. You don't come here for the spotlight. You come here to win games and have opportunities to win conference championships and to be developed.
Depth? I mean, you don't have one guy getting 15 tackles a game.
Right. I think we're playing pretty well defensively. We're probably not out there as long as maybe we have in the past, but I think we're using a lot of people as well. If you look at our defensive leaders tackling wise, it's Jackson Hankey, and then the next 3 or 4 guys all are probably around 40 to 50. I mean, there's not a lot of tackles out there to be made, so I think that's a good thing. And then with James Kaiser and Cole rotating so much, we're rotating Dom Jones back at safety, corner. We've rotated all year long. D-line is the D-line. You know, that's probably going back to 2014. You know, Kyle Emanuel's a great example. Probably in 2013 was one of the best players in the country. 2014, we played him a little bit more, and he had some outrageous stats. You know, our guys up front on D-line play about half a game. So you'll never know what kind of stats they could have had. But, you know, Braden Thomas led the league in sacks per game and TFLs per game. So I think we got some pretty good players out there, but not too concerned about the individual accolades.
If you're going to be a little bit critical, the last 3 weeks you've given up 27, 17, and 24. Do you have any concern with just your scoring defense, or does that have to do with backups being in at the end of the game?
I think some of it late touchdowns. Sure, you can get frustrated about it, but we're winning by significant margins, and the games aren't in. So if, you know, was I frustrated that we gave up a touchdown late in this one? Of course I was, but I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep on it, because I think for the first half or even the first 3 quarters of the game, I think we played pretty well defensively.
Announced 4 young men getting all-star game invites. What's that do for obviously them, and then for your program to have that kind of recognition?
Well, it's something that they've all earned. They've all been tremendous football players for us over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, even 6 years, I should say, with Cordell. To have the opportunity to be selected or to be recognized as one of the best football players in the country, regardless of level, I think it speaks to the development piece we continually talk about here, from strength and conditioning, academics, nutrition, on the field. I think you come here, you're going to have opportunities if you're willing to work and do what it takes to be a Bison. That's the caveat that sometimes people forget about. You have to be willing to work here. This is a blue-collar mentality program, and it takes the right people. But I think it shows that we got really good players here. And, of course, things like that always help us in recruiting. There isn't a young man in high school that doesn't have dreams or aspirations of getting to the NFL. I understand that. Our staff knows that. But to have guys recognized as NFL caliber players, pretty special.
In the season, you mentioned that Quincy won the job, but Cam Miller was playing some of the best football of his life. You just said that USD was maybe the best game he's had as a Bison. Not only the improvement from camp to now, how about the improvement from when he comes in against Missouri State? How much better football is he playing now than 5 games ago?
I think he's getting better exponentially. And I think it's just all the looks and the pictures, the film study that he does. But then when he came into Missouri State, I think he still only had 3 or 4 starts in his career. Now we've doubled those starts. Now he's up to 8 or 9. And again, I don't have accurate right here in front of me, but I just think that experience in itself, he plays with a level of composure that you probably wouldn't expect a young 19-year-old to play with. He's a student of the game. He has the best quarterback coach in the country, you know, with him every day. I think we have tried to not change the offense, but make sure we utilize what he's really good at. And he's good at making quick decisions, getting the ball out of his hand. And you see that with a lot of high-efficiency throws, you know, and then let our playmakers just do that and be playmakers.
Is he handling this situation?
He's been great. He's there every day. Those four quarterbacks, those guys are connected at the hip. I mean, they're every day. They're up in the staff room. They all go get breakfast together from the dining center, bring it over. They're eating together. You can hear them. I stop by. I know the offensive staff stops by, checks in. They have a routine, and they've been very diligent about following it every week. And on Saturday, you still saw some of the things that Quincy can do for you. I mean, he gets out there, and I know we had a penalty on that bypass, but that big-time run right there all of a sudden.
6 of the league's teams get into the postseason. I know you're probably not surprised at that, but what does that show you about what this year particularly was for the Missouri Valley?
Well, very talented. I think you go from teams 1 through 11. Extremely talented group. Every team had some big-time players. I think it's as well coached league as there is in the country. I think you saw a lot of teams and a lot of programs have some sixth year, some fifth year guys that stuck around because it's just that important in the Missouri Valley. And I thought you saw some really good football played and some tremendous individual moments as well.
You have your younger players lean on your older players, the players who have been in the situation before with buys and, been in this situation.
Well, there's really, hopefully they'll lean on them quite a bit. We have a fair amount of our roster remembers 2019 when we had a situation similar to this where we had a first-round bye. But, just trying to make sure we get the information to them as quickly as we can. I didn't talk much about what our schedule would look like this week and next week leading up to the game. I don't believe in counting my chickens before they hatch. I didn't want to – I just think talking about something that's down the road isn't what we're all about. We talk about right now means everything and live in the moment. I don't want to talk about what's going to look like next week. We got to make sure we win games, and I didn't want to take anything for granted. But today's meeting, we've gotten the schedule out. We talked about the schedule right after the game so they can get kind of an idea of what they're going to do. I think we're going to have a large number of guys just stick around. We'll do some things team-oriented in a couple of their days off, but it's always good to see guys stay here. Fargo's become home to a lot of our players.
It's almost essentially the same schedule that Chris had when you got here for this particular week.
Very similar, a little bit of adjustment. Wednesday we'll practice in the morning. Pre-2019 we practiced in the afternoon on Wednesday. So we're going to go in the morning just to try to get our guys an opportunity. I always get nervous. We have enough players that are from 6, 7, 8 hours away. All of a sudden you practice in the afternoon and now guys are driving till 1 or 2 in the morning. Maybe that's just me being a parent. Probably is. Trying to get them out of here by noon if we can, feed them and get them on the road if they choose to leave Fargo.
Cooking on Thursday for a lot of people then?
I think we'll have something team-oriented. I don't think I'll be cooking. I didn't even approach that conversation with my wife. But we have had, I know there was an Easter a couple years ago. We had 40 guys to the house. There was nowhere to lay, sit. They took it over, but that's good. I mean, that's what you want. You want guys. I mean, we're not related by blood, but we are family still.
Games this week. Tell me one thing that you're thankful for.
I don't know if I could stop at one. I'm thankful for all the young men that are in my life. So they're a tremendous group. I think they keep me relatively young or young at heart, and I have a lot of fun with them. All right. Thanks, guys.